When you experience extreme fear and stress for different situations, both real and imaginary, it is known as an anxiety disorder. The science of psychiatry has classified this since the last century. Psychiatrists have observed that fear and apprehension could affect anxiety both mentally and physically, panic attacks, and tensions. The anxiety has been a consistent problem even if fear or threat is no longer present. The classic example of an anxiety disorder is when a person experiences a threat or possibility of ruin or malady from either work or business, continuously experience a lingering fear for hours or days at a time. Such episodes are better known and described as panic attacks. The mental state of a person during a panic attack affects the physical state, and physical symptoms like nervousness, shortness of breath, and increased heartbeat are felt by the person who has this. Sometimes the anxiety can reach up to 6 months and become a lingering sickness. Anxiety disorders can also affect children who, when afflicted by persistent worries and fears, suffer from abnormal functioning in their learning processes and social relationships. They suffer from mental depression, lose their reasoning capabilities, and totally fail in school activities. Even their physical health are affected, since most afflicted children experience dysfunction like diarrhea, stomach upset, increased heart rate and blood pressure, nausea, shortness of breath, and many other symptoms. Many are eventually suffer from sleeping problems, which only worsen their condition. Separation anxiety also affects people, and the most intense cases of this type are the children. However, not all worries or fears of a child become anxiety disorders. A good family environment helps prevent such things from happening. But in other circumstances, it is always good to get expert advice and provide treatment for these disorders. What are the symptoms of anxiety? Anxiety feels different depending on the person experiencing it. Feelings can range from butterflies in your stomach to a racing heart. You might feel out of control, like there's a disconnect between your mind and body. Other ways people experience anxieties include nightmares, panic attacks, and painful thoughts or memories that you cannot control. Often, the people who have anxiety disorder experience a general feeling of fear and worry, or you may fear a specific place or event. Symptoms of general anxiety include increased heart rate, rapid breathing, restlessness, difficulty in concentrating, hard time sleeping. There are times that a person's anxiety symptoms might be totally different from someone else. That's why it's essential to know all the ways anxiety can present itself. Types of anxiety. The following are a brief discussion of the various forms and progressions of anxiety follows. Generalized anxiety disorders, or GAD, is an anxiety disorders of exaggerated stress without reason to be stressed. Sufferers tend to have difficulty relaxing or sleeping. They may experience lightheadedness, shortness of breath, trembling, nausea, muscle tension, headaches, irritability, or sweating. Panic disorders, or PD, is an extreme form of anxiety that causes sudden and unpredictable terror. This form often becomes disabling as a sufferer avoids a situation that they fear may trigger an attack. These panic attacks have symptoms like GAD, lightheadedness, shortness of breath, trembling, nausea, muscle tension, headaches, irritability, sweating, and the added ones of rapid pulse and chest pain. A person has an unfounded fear of dying or going crazy. Depression, alcoholism, or drug abuse is common among sufferers. Agoraphobia is the most restrictive anxiety disorder and is diagnosed when panic attacks cause sufferers to increasingly to restrict their activities. As people progressively avoid situations that they fear may trigger an attack, they become so restricted that they may confine themselves to their homes. Social phobia, or SP, is an anxiety disorder that is evident in social settings. It is an intense fear of being embarrassed. It will likely cause sufferers to avoid parties, eating out, or any situation where the sufferers feel that the focus of others is on them. Unlike shyness, those with SP can cause unease around other yet particular situations. Often unique to them, will cause intense anxiety. SP can disrupt relationships and careers as sufferers avoid trigger situations. Obsessive-compulsive disorders, or OCD, is a condition where an anxiety-driven person is unable to control their ritual behavior. This may be repeated washing of hands or checking things repeatedly, compulsions, or persistent unwelcome thoughts. Post-traumatic stress disorders, or PTSD, can be the product of a terrifying event. It causes sufferers to have frightening thoughts and memories. Any recollection of the incident can be difficult, and ordinary events can trigger flashbacks or intrusive images. Sufferers may become easily irritated or have violent outbursts. Depression and substance abuse often accompanies PTSD. What triggers anxiety? Here are things that trigger anxiety. Caffeine. Many people rely on their morning cup of joe to wake up, but it might trigger or worsen anxiety. According to one study in 2010, people with panic disorders and social anxiety disorders are especially sensitive to the anxiety-inducing effects of caffeine. Work to cut back on your caffeine intake by substituting non-caffeinated option whenever possible. Skipping meals. When you don't eat, your blood sugar may drop. That can lead to jittery hands and a rumbling tummy. It can also trigger anxiety. Eating meals that have a balanced diet is essential for numerous reasons. It provides you with energy and important nutrients. If you can't make time for 3 meals a day, healthy snacks are a great way to prevent low blood sugar, feeling of nervousness or agitation, and anxiety. Remember, food can affect your mood. Financial concerns. Worries about saving money or having debt can trigger anxiety. Unexpected bills or money fears are triggers too. Learning to manage these types of triggers may require seeking professional help, such as from a financial advisor. Feeling you have a companion and a guide in the process may ease your concern. Medications. Particular prescription and over-the-counter OTC medications may trigger symptoms of anxiety. That's because active ingredients in these medications may make you feel uneasy or unwell. Those feelings can set off a series of events in your mind and body that may lead to additional symptoms of anxiety. Medicines that may trigger anxiety include birth control pills, cough and congestion medications, weight loss medications,